Number 10. Astronauts aboard the Apollo missions and the International Space Station frequently report a horrifying phenomenon. Even in the pitch black of their sleeping quarters, with their eyes squeezed tightly shut, they see blinding, explosive flashes of light. They aren't hallucinating. They aren't seeing ghosts or alien entities. According to NASA data, they are actively witnessing the violent destruction of their own biology. Galactic cosmic rays, primordial, high-energy subatomic particles are punching straight through the spacecraft's shielding. These microscopic projectiles travel at nearly the speed of light, tearing through the void at 299,792,458 meters per second. They slice through the thick aluminum hull, plow through the astronauts' skulls, and physically shred their retinas, triggering a false optical flash as the particle exits the other side. The night sky is not a beautiful painted canvas, it is a leaking nuclear reactor. And if the reinforced metal hull of a space station cannot stop them, what is truly happening to the fragile DNA inside the skulls of these human beings? Before we go further, you must understand the fragility of reality. We'll look up and see a calming blue dome, convincing ourselves that the physical laws we rely on are absolute and permanent. To understand your true vulnerability, look at a standard, highly polished bowling ball. If the Earth were scaled down to the exact size of that bowling ball, the entirety of our atmosphere would be as thin as a layer of mist left by a brief breath on the ball's surface. A single silent sneeze from the universe could wipe that mist away in a fraction of a second. Yet, human arrogance remains boundless. We engineer habitats like the International Space Station, thrust them into the sterile void, and declare that we have conquered space. But when galactic cosmic rays strike the hull of the space station, the metal does not act as a shield. It acts as an amplifier. Imagine hiding behind a thin pane of glass to protect yourself from a point-blank shotgun blast. The glass shatters, converting the barrier itself into thousands of pieces of lethal, razor-sharp shrapnel tearing into your flesh. When high-energy particles smash into the station's aluminum atoms, they violently split the nuclei, triggering a secondary shower of radioactive neutrons directly into the cellular tissue of the crew inside. By trying to build a wall against the cosmos, we merely gave the radiation more ammunition. Number 9. For decades, space crews have whispered about the phantom cosmonauts. Isolated in the dark, they report sensing an invisible presence hovering over their shoulder, or seeing impossible, formless shapes floating just outside the viewport. The universe's answer is not paranormal, it is total biological collapse. A study published in Nature recently confirmed this as spaceflight-associated neuroocular syndrome. In the absence of Earth's gravity, nearly half a gallon of blood and cerebrospinal fluid violently shifts upward, pulling directly inside the skull. This relentless pressure slowly crushes the optic nerve, physically flattening the back of the eyeball. Simultaneously, the frontal lobe of the brain is compressed against the skull and begins to physically deform. These phantom visions are not ghosts. They are the dying misfires of a brain being suffocated by its own fluids. Number 8. While the brain deforms, the rest of the human organism begins to crumble at the subatomic level. On Earth, a human safely absorbs about 3.5 millisieverts of background radiation per year. But out in the sterile void, an acute exposure of 5 sieverts or 5,000 millisieverts results in a 50% chance of death within 30 days. On a long-duration mission to Mars, the human body accumulates these lethal doses with mathematical certainty. Heavy cosmic ions crash through cellular walls and physically sever the double helix structures of human DNA. Your genetic code is violently unzipped and shattered into meaningless fragments. The crews sent out to conquer the stars are not pioneers. They are terminal patients, actively dissolving in a vacuum that doesn't even know they are there. Number 7. Humanity spends its time staring into the abyssal depths of the cosmos, terrified of what might be hunting us from the dark. We blindly believe that Earth is our sanctuary. According to research published in the journal Science, our own planet is actively firing concentrated particle beams into orbit. These are known as terrestrial gamma-ray flashes. During severe thunderstorms, the electrical discharge doesn't just strike the ground, it violently shoots upward, blasting columns of high-energy radiation straight into the vacuum of space where our astronauts live and work. Number 6. The reality of these storms is infinitely more catastrophic. They are not just emitting radiation, they are manufacturing antimatter. NASA has confirmed that these terrestrial flashes hurl beams of positrons, the antimatter equivalent of electrons, directly into the orbital paths of our space stations. When these antimatter beams intersect with the ordinary matter of a spacecraft's hull, nature executes a merciless law of physics, E equals mc squared. When a positron collides with a normal electron in the metal wall of the ISS, the efficiency is exactly 100%, total absolute annihilation. Both particles instantly cease to exist, converting their entire combined mass into a pure, concentrated burst of gamma rays. If a crewed spacecraft were to pass directly through a maximum intensity beam, the electromagnetic spike would completely erase their electronic life support systems. No warning alarms, no time to radio for help, just a sudden, silent failure of all systems, leaving the crew trapped inside a freezing metal coffin. Number 5. Humanity has evolved to believe that pain is a survival mechanism. But this warning system is painfully slow, constrained by the pathetic limits of our terrestrial biology. A human nerve impulse travels at a maximum speed of about 260 miles per hour. Even visual processing takes approximately 13 milliseconds. To a human, 13 milliseconds is an instant, to the universe it is an eternity. The cosmos operates with absolute cosmic indifference. When a lethal event sweeps through the solar system, it does not give you the luxury of a warning. Number 4. The true apex predators of space do not slowly approach. They travel at the absolute speed limit of reality, over 186,000 miles per second. To understand the sheer violence of this mathematics, picture a single human cell as a massive, intricate cathedral. A cosmic ray is a microscopic, supersonic needle striking that cathedral at the speed of light. It passes completely through the stained glass without leaving a visible hole, yet its energy violently collapses the fundamental pillars of your DNA inside. If Earth were struck by a close proximity radiation burst, the physical structure of your brain would be destroyed faster than your neurons could transmit the pain signal. The very atoms required to process the thought of your own death would be vaporized before the thought could even form. Number 3. We write science fiction about massive interstellar arcs carrying humanity to new worlds. But here is the brutal, unavoidable mathematics of our imprisonment. To actually shield a human crew from the relentless bombardment of radiation, you need sheer, unadulterated mass. A spacecraft would need to be encased in at least 10 feet of solid lead, or a surrounding jacket of water 30 feet thick. This requirement turns a nimble spacecraft into an object weighing tens of thousands of tons. To escape Earth's gravity, well, an object must reach a velocity of roughly 25,000 miles per hour. There is no chemical rocket that can generate enough thrust to lift that much dead weight off the surface of this planet. We are pinned to the floor by the sheer mass of the armor we need to survive. We are forced into a horrific choice: build a ship light enough to fly and let the crew be irradiated, or build a ship thick enough to protect them and watch it permanently grounded by gravity. Number 2. This forces us into the ultimate inescapable paradox. If we remain on Earth, we are merely sitting ducks, waiting for the next extinction-level asteroid or localized gamma-ray flash. But if we try to leave, the vacuum of space will slowly and methodically strangle us at the genetic level. This is the chilling answer to the Fermi paradox. We aim our massive radio telescopes at the sky, begging for a signal, deeply unsettled by the deafening silence of the cosmos. The truth is far more clinical. The universe is a heavily irradiated quarantine zone. Any biological civilization that attempts to cross the void is systematically dismantled by radiation. Their cellular structures dissolve and their minds mutate long before they can reach the nearest star. We are stranded on a sinking island, completely surrounded by an ocean of invisible acid. Number 1. When you strip away the romanticism of space exploration, you are left with a terrifying psychological truth. Every phantom presence felt aboard the ISS, every flash of light blinding an astronaut in the dark. Humanity desperately wants these anomalies to be ghosts, or an advanced extraterrestrial civilization observing us from the shadows. We crave the idea of being watched, because if something is watching us, it means we matter. But the truth we refuse to accept is that our primate brains are simply malfunctioning under the crushing weight of cosmic indifference. We are hallucinating in the dark, desperately trying to rationalize the horrific reality that our biology is being methodically erased by a vacuum we were never meant to enter. The void is completely, utterly sterile. The freezing, irradiated vacuum is already a perfect slaughterhouse, and it requires no active malice to function. We'll look up at the stars, terrified of the dark, pressing against the boundaries of our fragile, evaporating atmosphere. But the absolute horrifying truth is this: we're not special. We are a statistical anomaly in a cold graveyard. Thank you for watching and sticking till the end. We've got plenty more videos coming in the future. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss them. See you in the next one.